Hello ladies and gentlemen, Papa Top 912. Today I'm just doing a little short how-to video on how to make a homemade repair to a Canon Downrigger swivel mount. As you can see, this mount has been modified several times since I purchased it. I actually purchased it used with a set of used downriggers that were used, I guess, in a saltwater application. And because the mount, when I bought the whole setup, it was on a metal bracket and it was rusted, and you know, some of these edges had broken and things like that. So I just took those edges and I put them back together. I put a little kind of rubber cement on the edges, and then I went to the auto parts store and I purchased some of that 2-in-1 plastic repair stuff where you just mix the two together and apply it in the next 60 seconds, and that's what all this is. And since I've done that, this base is held up. I can mount it down to my bracket, and I can also mount my downrigger to it, and hadn't had any trouble with it. So if you ever break them, that's something you could do there. Again, I purchased this, it was already broken, and you would say, why would you want to do all of that? Well, this one little thing here costs $100 roughly. You might get a little cheaper on eBay, but you know, that's the range that it's in. So the latest thing that happened to me was this little spring-loaded clip that you use to adjust the angle of the downrigger. There's a little metal prong that comes off the edge of there. As you can see, I no longer have a metal prong because it basically got rusted away. So what happens is, without that prong, this thing just swivels and swivels and swivels. Now I looked online and I tried to just find this piece and I never could find it. So I thought of a way that I could just make one up myself, and this is what I ended up with. I just took a simple nut. This was I forgot the size of it, but it's also the matching screw with a wing nut on it. So basically got a nut and a screw, and the wing nut is there to help you get grip on it. And what I did was I super glued. I rolled this down about 3 turns. I put super glue on the threads and I rolled it all the way up, and now it's locked with super glue. And then I took a hammer and I hammered in a nut into that hole where this original thing here screwed into. So now I can take that screw and wing nut, screw it in, a little bit more, should start coming through in a second. Alright, it's coming on through the hole now, and you can just screw it, and at that point this thing is locked. It can't turn anymore. Now the spring-loaded one was better because it would spring out, and then when you turned, you know, you just pull the spring and then you could just turn the base, and then once you got to the next location, it would automatically spring back in and lock. Well, you're not gonna have that luxury with this one, but if you know anything about these mounts, they basically got 0, 45, 90, and 180. And you go back the other way, 0, 45, 90, and 180. And as far as I ever go is 45 and 45. So you got your downrigger on the mount. It'll be pretty easy to open that screw, turn it to about where 45 is, and then if you just start screwing, you know, it'll even lock wherever you put it. And there you go. I just put a little tension on it and I was able to turn it and still get it to snap in place. So it's not as good as the spring mount, but it is cheap and efficient. The whole thing cost me less than $1 to fix, and it saved me a whole lot of frustration and $100 from buying another one, because I only use my downriggers, 2-3 months out of the year, so I didn't want to spend any more money than I had to. So it's a quick fix. You can look in here and see how that screw goes in there, and again, you just screw it out until it'll turn, then screw it a little bit, give it a little bit of tension, and it'll kind of go to the next point. And when you get there, just screw it in a little bit more to give yourself a good locking position. That is not going to break. And as always, if you're dealing with the marine environment, use a stainless steel equipment so it doesn't rust on you. So that's the top side view. See, and that's what it looks like on the bottom with the screw sitting in the hole. Alright, Papa Top 912. Hope this helps somebody out there in the YouTube world.